Jesus, I love you. Oh my. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place. I'm lost without you. Can't do nothing without you. Oh no. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place. My heart says yes. My heart says yes to your will, to your way. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place.
Greetings and welcome to MentorMe Memorable Moments. I am your host, Tracy Everette Duncan, and you normally see William Craig III with me, but he's got the night off, and so we've got a new host here with us for this segment, and this is Jamila Neroy.
Hello.
She is the owner of Salon Cocktails, and I hear it's hot. It's happening.
Fire.
Oh, wow. We're
Yes.
going to talk about that in our second segment.
Yes, let's do that.
But Jamila is joining me for this first segment as my co-host. So we want to welcome all 50 states and all 135 nations that broadcast WLVS radio at www.listenvision, listenvisionlive.com, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Because we're usually telling everyone to go to our website, MentorMe411.com.
Yes.
But you know what? Listen Vision Live Radio has been good to us, and so we're going to push them out as well.
Absolutely.
But Jamila,
Yes.
you know, when we started off the month of November, we were talking about this month being alcohol awareness.
Absolutely.
As well as stop bullying.
Stop
Because
the
there are
bullying.
epidemics out there concerning both these issues.
Yes.
And so since we're now at the end of November, I'm just going to wrap up this segment,
Okay.
kind of put it into perspective,
Okay.
and also give you some information where you can go and get some help, much help that's needed, not in just repairing the damage that's done to the home,
Right.
but the damage that's done to the community.
The community. Absolutely.
I think we need outside help
We
in
need-
order to
we need some
repair
help.
those communities.
Yeah.
Yes. Particularly what just happened down south. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, how can you tear up your community
Yeah.
just to prove a point?
Absolutely.
But I'm not judging. I'm just saying that I don't think that's the way to go.
Excessive bullying
Yeah.
will have you do all kind of things.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Mike, if you could throw up those first slides, please. We're going to recap just very quickly. Next slide, please. Looking at what is bullying. Next slide, please. And we know that bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power of imbalance, okay? And that it's repeated and repeated and repeated to the point where it becomes very stressful for the individual that is the recipient of bullying.
Absolutely.
But like it's some kind of toy, a game for the bullier.
Right.
Is that a word, bullier?
Well, we're going to make it a word.
Okay, we can do anything on our show.
We
All
want
right.
to do it here, right.
And that bullying includes actions such as making threats and spreading rumors. It's also physical or verbal, and it can be as damaging as excluding someone from a group or an event. And because bullying can be just as damaging, if not more damaging, than physical bullying, because it attacks us mentally.
You know what's really sad? Most of the people doing the bullying are people who've been bullied, and there was no resolve.
Well, you know,
and that's how they're
that's true.
lashing back out.
You know, we did a segment also this month on the angry black female, and I was hoping that people would have made the connection that, you know, we're perceived as bullies, you know.
Yeah, yes.
And that when Dr. Michelle came on to talk about perception reframing, she touched on that there is something going on in us that makes us stuck, that makes us think that we have to act that way.
Absolutely.
And if we can just tap into that thing that's so negative in our life and acknowledge it and break through it, then we wouldn't have these issues anymore.
Instead of bullying, we would be embracing.
Say it again.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
tweet that out.
Yes.
Instead of bullying, we will be embracing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we're looking at the next slide, the types of bullying, again, we're looking at the verbal, which is teasing and name calling and taunting someone. We're looking at social, which is spreading rumors about the person, isolating the person, and then embarrassing the person. And let me say something about spreading the rumors. It's no different than defamation.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And so if someone is defaming your name and your character, sue them. Sue them. You can sue anybody in this glorious United States of America. Whether you win or not is another thing, but at least sue them. Put a shock factor in there.
You're not playing with them.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's not cool at all.
And then physical, we are looking at people doing the disgusting thing as spitting on someone, pushing and kicking them. Or just that's called assault.
Right.
Sue them.
Right.
Press charges and sue them.
Yeah.
I mean, bullies have to understand that we're not going to tolerate this anymore. No more.
And no better way than showing you're not going to tolerate it by involving the law, because nobody wants to deal with them.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next slide, please. So where does bullying predominantly occur? We mentioned that it occurs during and after school hours because these are the latchkey kids. They're really not being babysat.
Right.
They don't have any type of organizations or communities that they can go to that will keep them busy. There's no one home. They're latchkey kids. So it happens during or after school hours at the playground, at the bus station, or in your neighborhood. And it also happens on the internet. You know, they're getting very savvy now with this.
Yeah.
So what I did find out is that when we look at male bullies, they're nearly 4 times as likely as non-bullies to grow up to be physically abusive and sexually abusive to their female partners.
But I would think that it would be easier for men to be bullies in that they don't communicate how women communicate. Ugly things have happened to them that maybe they don't know how to communicate to others, so they pick on someone else.
And that they're also frustrated because they can't communicate what happened to them.
Absolutely.
And so they take it out on others.
Yeah.
Yeah, different perspectives. And also by the age of 24, 60% of former school bullies had been convicted of a criminal charge at least once. Wow. Indeed.
Yeah, so those actions actually end you up in a place where you don't even want to be.
Exactly, because when you have a criminal record, it's very difficult to find a job. You almost have to become an entrepreneur. You do your thing.
You're very right about that.
Yes, it's very hard. So next slide, please. When we're looking at the results of bullying, we're seeing that the recipients are victimized. That if it's happening in the school, then teachers become injured. I remember, I kid you not, I remember going to a school in the inner city here. You know, I was raised in the suburbs. And when we moved back to the inner city, we were different because we spoke differently in the suburbs. And so we got teased a lot because of that. But I remember walking through the halls in the school, and it was like chaos, pure chaos, like the animals were running wild, and no one could cage them. And I remember looking up in the school building. I can't even say it was like an internal courtyard, but I remember looking up and seeing somebody holding someone over the balcony by their ankles and was just laughing about it. And I thought, I'm scared to death. I don't want to come back to this school at all. Ma, what did you do to us? You know, why are we here? And so when we're looking at the bullies in the school, they're not only victimizing the students, they're also victimizing the teachers. The
That's
teachers
true.
are afraid of the bullies.
Yeah.
The bullies could be non-gang related, they could be gang related, but still there's that fear factor.
Yeah.
There are also weapons being brought on to the school. Suspensions are increasing. The use of drugs and alcohol becomes the thing now, and who's going to catch you? Because there's so many different ways you can hide these things.
Absolutely.
And if there's so many students doing it, then how are you going to be able to keep up with me
Absolutely.
and Jamila too?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
oh
true.
yeah, we're going to outsmart you.
Yeah.
But also there's a lot of suicides and self-injury. People or
Crazy.
teens cutting themselves, you know. You can't really find that they're cutting themselves because they're wearing these long sleeves.
Right.
I'm going to do a program on that, particularly the young girls. There are boys, young boys, who are cutting themselves as well. But the young girl teens are cutting themselves because they're hurting. And they'll go into a room after they finish cutting themselves, and they'll sit right next to their parents and watch television.
Right.
And the parents have no clue that there are bandages in the bathroom that are full of blood and alcohol and all other kinds of treatments. They don't ask.
I think the other piece of this is that we, as a community and as a nation, we're moving further from family. You know, I remember a time where Mama called dinner time. Everybody went and sat and ate
Yes.
dinner. Nobody was watching TV and playing PlayStation and on their phones. You came and sat down, and it was during that time that we would talk. You know, so whatever happened in the day, we would share at the dinner table. And I'm seeing it not happening. I have
Right.
to tell my son, do not text me when you're downstairs and I'm upstairs. Come to where I am.
Oh, hello.
So interaction, and I think the way the more we get away from interacting with one another, the more we're able to hide these ugly things that's happening. I don't know about this cutting stuff, but I do have. It's crazy that you say that. 2 young girls, to speak with them, they are so intelligent. But when I saw their arms, it broke my heart.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, how does no one in your house see this?
Right.
What is this doing for your life? Why are you doing this?
And if it's the arms and you finally catch me at it, then
Right.
I'm going to switch up on you. I'm going to
Right.
do the inner thigh.
Right.
Yeah. And so who's going to look there?
Wow.
Yeah, they're hurting.
We got work to do.
Absolutely.
We
We
got
don't
work to
have
do.
time for this foolishness. You know, we
Absolutely.
do have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So now our students are not feeling safe in school. They don't want to come to school. And so you find that a lot of students are just dropping out.
Right.
Or giving up. So if you could turn to the next slide, you know, bullying also occurs in the workplace, and we talked about this. We talked about, how there are laws to protect you out there from your supervisor bullying you or anyone on the job bullying you. And it's called EEOC.
Right.
Yes. And you're going to see where the laws, federal laws that were created to stop bullying in the communities and in school do closely relate to the federal laws that stop the harassment in the workplace. Yes, yes. So the next slide, please. And this pledge that I was talking about on the previous slide is stop being quiet. Even if you have to
Absolutely.
report it anonymously, report it.
Right.
Don't stand by and let somebody be bullied so badly that they're beaten right in front of you
Right.
or that they're humiliated right in front of you. Tell a teacher if it has to be anonymous. Write a letter if it has to be anonymous.
Right.
Send an email through a bogus account. Just don't be quiet.
Look, I feel like even outside of the school and even the workplace, this is going on in the streets where you have adults turning their faces. Get involved. I know most of us are afraid for our own safety, but at the end of the day, when I was young, I would watch my father stop his car and get out and address a young man who was beating up a female. And my mother would say, oh, dear God, somebody's going to kill him. And at this point, he's still living.
Yes.
Yes. He's in his 70s and he's still living, but he could not sit by and watch this stuff go
Right.
on. So many of us are sitting and watching it go by
But
and
you-
go on and doing nothing.
You're correct, but and I also agree with you too. There is a fear factor to get involved.
Yeah.
And I know you can travel on the metros, subway stations, and be in a certain part of town where there are teens in a fight. I mean, they just got out of school. They're fighting in the subway stations, and grown-ups are trying to intervene and stop them,
Right.
and then the teens turn on them.
Right.
There have been many adults that have been beaten because they tried to help.
But then again, taking that process that you mentioned earlier, call someone, call the police.
Yes.
Yes. We sit and watch on World Star and YouTube while people sit and actually film
it. Yes.
the craziness. Now, for how many minutes it's going on or seconds, people are watching and filming.
And they
instead of
think
picking
it's-
up a call,
yes.
phone to make the call for help if they
Right.
can't do anything.
Right.
So that's crazy to me.
And I think there are, in this new federal law too, that those bystanders can also be prosecuted because they could have done something.
Yeah.
Next slide, please. So when we're looking at the laws that are against bullying, and I think it's slide number 8, when we're looking at the laws that are against bullying, we're looking at laws that protect folks who are fearful, who feel they're being disrespected, who are physically and psychologically being tormented by this bully. And the whole purpose of the bully in school that's tormenting this person is to undermine their education. Well, we're all entitled to a free education without interruption.
Right.
And so with this new federal law says that I don't care if you're LGBT, disabled. I don't care what your race, color, or national origin is, your gender is, or your sexual whether or not you are sexually harassed. You are protected under this federal law. And if you look at the next slide, that law is operated out of the Office of Civil Rights.
Okay.
Yes. And so the Office of Civil Rights is committed to working with the schools, students' families, communities, and advocacy organizations and other interested parties to ensure that students are not subjected to harassment and are given a free education without interruption.
Right.
So I'm saying that if you contact the OCR in your region, and for most of the people that are on the Eastern region, it's right here in Washington, D.C., you can get some help. And they'll listen to your story, and they'll determine if indeed it falls within their classification of helping you. If not, then they're going to give you some other resources to turn to. And another one of those resources is within each school district, within each state, the schools have adopted a no bully policy, no bullying policy. And so with that, your child, if that child is being bullied, can log a complaint with the school. The school must, and I repeat, the school must investigate that incident, because if that school is receiving federal funds, they better investigate that incident. If not, those funds could be pulled from that school.
Well, I think that we also have to get into the mindset of the individual being bullied. So even beyond this, the one thing that we hear a lot is that snitches get stitches. You've got to deal with the social aspect of being someone who told. But at the end of the day, if it is interrupting your education, you need to tell somebody.
Yes.
Somebody needs to get involved in order for it to stop.
Because if it stops, Jamila, normally it's stopped through suicide. Or it's stopped through someone ending up in the hospital, and it's usually the victim because they don't know where else to turn. But I am telling you, communities, you can contact the Office of Civil Rights and at least start there, and then work within your community organizations, your parent-teacher organizations within the school, and create a model that would help other communities within your area. I mean, we gotta send a message.
Yeah.
We gotta send it strong. Yeah, they're your babies. Yeah, I understand that, but your babies are running wild, and they need to be disciplined. They need to be disciplined, and so we're not gonna know if they're hurting, and that's the reason why they're committing these acts. And we're not gonna know if they are intentionally committing these acts because they're just little badasses. Okay,
Ooh, beat 'em.
all right. Okay. Okay, and don't let nobody know you're gonna beat them because we don't want you to end up
Beat
in
'em
jail.
quietly.
Okay, yeah.
But get them in check nonetheless, because
Exactly.
they're running around here
It has to
running
stop.
amok and causing so much damage to individuals that really have nothing to do, in most cases, with the pain that they harbor. You know what I mean?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what we're going to do real quick is that's wrapping up the segment on stop bullying.
Yeah.
And again, contact somebody, even if it's an anonymous letter or email through a bogus account or a phone call,
Yeah.
deep throat style. I mean, whatever. Just don't be quiet anymore. Contact someone.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break because
Okay.
I want to show you a video that has to do with binge drinking and alcohol awareness. Now, I've been tweeting out, some messages about alcohol awareness, and we're wrapping up this segment. But the party season is starting. Christmas.
party season
this
is
is my
about to
month.
get started.
Yes, with a lot of drinking, a lot of parties, a lot of celebrations. But there's something you need to know if somebody walks out of your house and they are intoxicated and get into an accident and create an injury. But we're going to talk about that.
Know what this is.
We're going to see that. So let's take a look at this clip real quick. It talks about binge drinking on campuses.
Okay.
Meet Danae Couch, or what you may know her better as
Miss Texas 2012.
But did you know, when she's not on stage or touring across Texas and the greater United States, she's a major voice of reason fighting against the most abused drug among young adults and college students nowadays, and an issue that hits close to home for her: alcohol and binge drinking.
I had a family member who went to rehab in October of 2011, and it really shook myself and my family.
She reaches out through her program, The Unconscious Truth, which touches on the physical and legal effects of both underage and of-age binge drinking.
It's a way of making them aware of the dangers of underage drinking and of binge drinking, alcohol poisoning, and some of the legal effects that will befall them as well.
So what is binge drinking? Dr. Kitty Harris, the director of the renowned Center for the Study of Addiction and Recovery at Texas Tech, says in layman's terms that it's drinking for the purpose of getting drunk.
I think of it in terms of the intent and purpose, is that I'm going to drink not for the social aspect, but I want to drink for the intent and purpose to get drunk and to feel the way I want to feel.
So how much is too much? Well, the daily recommended limit for alcohol per day is 4 units or 2 pints of beer. Now let's say in one night, you double that to 4 pints and 8 units, you're technically binge drinking. And according to what experts say, you're seriously damaging your health long term. But with young adults nowadays, with the use of this device, it doesn't get much better.
Drop it.
The beer bong comes in all shapes and sizes and makes binge drinking literally effortless, with drinkers able to take down several drinks in just a couple of seconds. And if you drink enough in a certain amount of time, you can black out, where the mind shuts down and the drinker goes into a stage of amnesia, where bad decisions are made and are hardly ever remembered.
You know, I've worked with girls that will say, I have no idea how I got to his apartment. I have no idea how I ended up without my purse.
Now, before I mentioned that binge drinking damages your health, and according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, it can damage your liver, increase the risk of certain types of cancer, cause heart damage, and in extreme cases, can lead to alcohol poisoning and death.
I actually had someone I know die from alcohol poisoning.
It's sad that so many kids' lives are ended due to their alcohol and drug use in college campuses.
But Harris says there is hope for those who think they are stuck in their binge drinking addiction and habits.
I've spent the last 30 years of my life working with people that were in some phase of addiction or recovery. And it works. Recovery works. Following a 12-step principle model of recovery works.
For the Daily Toreador, this is Andrew Nepson signing off.
Wow, what did you think about that?
Crazy. Absolutely bananas.
And I was, because I'm always reading on this and studying my craft. And I was looking at a video dated back in the early 80s. And do you know they were talking about binge drinking on college campuses, binge drinking across high school students back in the 80s. And here we are in the millennium. Nothing's changed.
Let me tell you what did change. I call myself, I'm not a drinker, but with rhyme or reason, I call myself being sad about a friend of mine being sent away to the Gulf War, and I'm going to have me a drink, because that's what I see people do. Go get your drink.
Oh, yeah.
Got me a drink. Didn't quite feel that drink. Went and got me another drink. But I think I was drinking some bottles. I can't even tell you what the size were. Just know that at the end of this experience, I had to call my father. Now, how many kids are doing that? Crying, confused, calling my... When I figured this thing, I said, I called my father the next day. I will not be doing this again. Baby, I did not like how that made me feel. He just couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
So we need to be calling more parents when we get drunk.
Okay. And unfortunately, when the parents are called is when the child is arrested or the child has died. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're going to talk about all of that right now. So let's take a look at that first slide. The next slide, please. We're going to recap the alcohol awareness that we talked about when we first opened up this segment, and that alcohol, make no mistake, is a drug. So when someone asks you, if you're in rehab, what's your drug of choice?
Right.
And alcohol is what got you there, then you have to admit it's alcohol because it is a drug and it is a depressant.
Right.
And the use of alcohol has short-term and long-term risk, and we know that binge drinking is a short-term risk. I want to get drunk. I want to get drunk fast. It has nothing to do, like the woman in the video said, it has nothing to do with socialization.
Right.
Let me get drunk and see how fast I can get drunk and get my buzz on and get my high on.
Yeah.
But we also know that the heavy, or the long-term use has to do with heavy use of alcohol over a long period of time, which eventually, if you don't quit, will become an addiction.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that you said that, you had your first drink and your mind was saying, okay, this isn't enough, I need more. Alcohol does morph the mind, the brain cells, so that if you are young in high school, and I think they even drink as early as 14 years old, that they're documenting anyway. So if you're that young, the brain does not fully develop until you're about 24, 25 years old. And then there's some studies that say it does not develop until you're about 30 years old.
But we know in most cases that's the truth.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sure you have some stories to tell. But if you are that young, at 14 up to 24 years old, let's say, and you are drinking alcohol and you're partying and you're just carrying on, and this is affecting your brain cells, you were smart yesterday, more so than you are today.
But more importantly, it's not just affecting the brain cells, it's also affecting your body.
Yes.
I know
yes.
a couple of
Yes.
people who have diabetes today for their alcoholism and their addiction. And I'm sure during the time, and we have these conversations, you didn't quite think it was an addiction. You didn't quite think it was
Right.
something that you were out of control with.
I
But
can handle
today,
it.
these people have to shoot themselves with insulin in order to not die.
Right.
And they're not even drinking no more.
Right, because
that's
there's
crazy.
sugar content in liquor, in
Absolutely.
alcohol.
And I don't
and
think people
particularly
knew
if you
that.
have those coolers, on
Absolutely.
those sweet drinks.
Absolutely.
Oh, with the nice little umbrellas.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Ooh,
hello.
right.
You go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead. And amputation and
Yes.
kidney disease
Yes.
and blindness, all those things follow complications to diabetes. We are going to do a segment on that for sure. But if you could turn to the next slide, please. Now, when we're looking at the blood alcohol content level, what you see is that when someone is stopped for DUI, the police measures the BAC, the blood alcohol content. That's how much
Right.
liquor do you have in your system, in your bloodstream. So we know that drinking alcohol produces a BAC, and if you have consumed alcohol, then you're probably having slow reactions, coordination is off, your impaired vision, your thinking, all of that. But take a look at this chart right here. This, if you're looking at the chart, to the left, you see the number of drinks. The top row gives you an idea of how many pounds you weigh, because you're getting high and getting drunk depends on your gender, your size, your weight, all of those things, your fatty tissues.
content,
That's
yeah.
right, all of that. And so let's say for a person who is weighing 100 pounds and they have one drink, then they're at 0.04.
Okay.
Okay, they're not quite illegal,
Okay.
but they are having that buzz and they're developing that that slow reaction. So for you who are viewing this program, just take a look real quick and see what your weight level is and the number of drinks that you have per party, per incident, per event, and see what that does to your BAC, your blood alcohol content level. So the BAC refers to the amount of alcohol contained in a person's blood. It is measured as weight per unit of volume, and is typically measured by converting it to a percentage, such as a 0.10%, which indicates that that's 1/10 of a person's blood that is impacted by the alcohol. Okay. 1/10 of their blood. So the next slide, please. Can you hold your liquor then? So if you know this is it, can you hold your liquor? And someone who's intoxicated and feeling good and say, yeah, just give me one more, okay? If you look at the chart or the graph on your left, you see that this is the type of alcohol there's a beer, 12 ounce of beer has about 5% ounce of alcohol in it. Glass of wine, 12% alcohol, and then you look at the hard liquor, which are considered shots, 40% alcohol. The binge drinkers they're not messing with the beer per se. That just gets them to get loose and uninhibited.
Get them ready for the other stuff,
exactly.
Huh? Okay.
What they are really doing are the shots. And there was a response that I saw where a woman buried her daughter first year college, and when they investigated why she died, it was because she had a few beers, okay, but she had 10 to 12 shots within a 2-hour period. Alcohol poisoning.
Right.
Okay, because that's what's in your bloodstream.
Right.
Okay, if you look to the right, if you see that 5% of the alcohol is in beer, then on the right side, 5% is beginning to affect your brain cells. You're now in poor judgment. So you're asking for more. And give me a double at that. So just for the viewers, take a look and see how alcohol affects your brain as you're drinking and drinking and drinking during your party times. Mike, the next slide, please. So how much is too much? You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. Again, take a look at just the graph of what you're planning on doing for the holiday season coming up and understanding how much of that percentage of alcohol will be in your system. And then multiply that times the number of drinks you intend on having. Okay. Next slide, please. So when is it safe to drive again? Well, that's an interesting question. So if we look at the graph on the left, we see that at 0.02% of having 2 beers, you've got loss of judgment and trouble doing just 2 tasks at the same time. Okay, finding your keys and lifting the liquor bottle, the beer bottle, okay?
Absolutely.
But when you move all the way up to having at least 7 or more beers, then you're now at 0.15%. You are past the legal limit, at least in this metropolitan area, to drink and drive. So how do you know when you're at that party if it's okay for you to drive? And take a look at the graph on your right. If you have a smartphone, there are a lot of blood alcohol content apps out there that you can pull down that will help you measure where you are. This is one of those. If you look at the bottom, it says that at the current time, this person took or put this information into the app, and this is what it spat out. At 10:31 p.m., she put this information in. Now take a look at the top. She is a female weighing 140 pounds. She had 12 ounce of something. It could have been the beer because the beer is 12 ounce, but whatever it was gave her a percentage reading of alcohol at 23%. So if you look back at the chart on the left, we know that 7 beers is 15%. So she had a few beers and something else, or something else and a few beers. Okay, and so then the back is telling her that it could be safe, but not quite. Okay, you just have to look and see where it is in your area and set your BAC to that.
And you gotta be honest, right?
Pardon?
You gotta be honest.
You gotta be honest. Exactly. You gotta be honest in your inebriated state. Okay, so how many hours and minutes have passed since you started drinking? 3 hours has passed since she's been at this party doing this binge drinking. So this app tells her that she may safely drive at 12:25 a.m. because her BAC content level is at 0.11. She is now over and illegal to do any driving. If she gets stopped at a stop point, she's going to jail.
Wow.
Yes. So you want to get an app. You want to count your drinks as well. So let's turn to the next slide, please. Then, all right, Jamila, you're throwing a party. I'm invited to your party. And oh my gosh, I drink just a little bit, too much,
Right.
And I leave your premise drunk or intoxicated or even buzzed if I'm drinking just once. I'm not a drinker, so I'm not going to hold it very well.
Right.
So now I'm buzzed and my judgment's off, my coordination off, and I get behind the wheel of my car and down the street, I get into an accident. Wow. And whether it's I hit a tree and I'm the only one injured or I hit a person. And believe me, there are stories where people are so drunk when they leave one establishment on their way to another establishment, they don't realize that they hit someone. And sometimes if it's a child, they're wrapped up in the tire. They don't realize it and they pull into the driveway, park the car any kind of way they want, and go into the next liquor establishment.
Right.
I can tell you stories.
Wow.
And so here we are. Yes, I hit that tree and I'm the only one injured, but I'm going to sue you because you served me alcohol and you didn't take care of me when I left your premise. I should not have been able to leave your premise having had a drink in your house.
Okay, so you're saying outside of the personal responsibility of being this drunk, the establishment that you've been at, whether it's someone's home or a bar or a club, is now also responsible for your actions after leaving?
Exactly. If they know that I am been intoxicated and they allowed me to leave, people have come back and not only have sued the establishment, but they sued the waiter, they sued the bartender, they sued the manager. And don't let someone else get injured because now that person can sue the driver, can sue the waiter, can sue the bartender, and sue the management along with the establishment. It's called the drum shop liability law.
Well, I'll tell you one thing during this holiday. Don't come to my house. I'm serving water, straight water. I cannot be responsible for foolish actions, honey. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The drum shop liability makes a business.
There's a law now?
Drum shop liability law. It makes a business which sells alcoholic drinks in a host who serves liquor to a drinker who is obviously intoxicated or close to it, strictly liable to anyone injured by the drunken patron or guest.
Wow.
And now this scenario, let's say we're on a college campus. This can happen as well on a college campus because if someone is left to sleep it off in a drunken state and they vomit, because we're going to talk about all that later too, and they choke on their vomit and die, then the parents of the deceased student can sue the university, can sue the fraternity, can sue the person who threw the party, can sue to get some kind of satisfaction and relief.
Yeah.
So let me just say this. MentorMe Drug Testing Services is a company that I own, and we do a lot of tips training, we do a lot of drug testing, etc. So if you could turn over to slide 19, I'm going to quickly say this, and we're going to come back and talk about it some more when we have more time, but I think I'm dipping into your time right now.
It's all right, because we need to talk about this thing, girl, because look, like you said, the holidays are coming. People need to know this.
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
like water at my house. Don't come to my house.
Okay.
When I be getting no buzz.
Okay, under Dr. Michelle's instructions, I will have water and lemon because I'm detoxing while
I might
I'm at
give you
your
a
house.
peppermint leaf.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, we're going to keep it clean and keep it sober.
Absolutely.
Okay? So when we're looking at the tips training, this is training for intervention procedures. And there are a lot of alcohol awareness training out there, but this is the one that I love the most and that I have connected with and that I'm certified in as well. Because tips is recognized across 30 nations in all 50 states.
Okay.
Okay. And so they have online training for some of their products and services, as well as, in-class training. So if you're interested in TIPS online training and you can't find a TIPS certified instructor in your state or your country, then go ahead and click on that link, because that will take you to my online TIPS account, and we can get you certified that way. But again, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about all of this, because I'm going to bring some of the TIPS certified trainers onto the program too, and they can give you some stories. There are attorneys out there waiting for you to screw up, because they are waiting to take you for everything you got because you did a dumb thing. You drove while you were drunk and you caused injury to someone. And I have to say, go get them.
Yeah.
Go get them, because there's too much education out there for us to do dumb things like this.
Right.
Okay. So, Jamila, I know, we got a few minutes that and Mike, we're not even going to roll tape on the video. We'll just save that for the next time. Okay. I do want to get into your segment, because you've done some amazing things with hair loss and hair recovery. Absolutely. And you and I have been hanging out and talking, and I'm just so shocked that, first of all, the increase in your business. God is good. He is good.
Awesome.
But that you give to others. Just while we were getting ready for this segment, she was giving to the segment host before us, and I'm sure if you tune in, you'll hear her story. But Jamila, just take it from here. Whatever time we have left, please.
Let me tell you, I really want to be able to put this segment on hold and continue with your segment, because again, that's life, and death. These hair issues are issues that we are able to resolve and bring solutions to. And we've been talking about hair loss and hair thinning, how to prevent it, how to strengthen our hair between services to avoid, this ugliness. Because again, it has a lot to do with your look, So.
And we do want to look good.
And we
want to
look good.
Season.
We want to feel good. And we don't want to end up in coffins for foolishness like that.
Right.
But at the same time, I have been definitely traveling, whether in my mind or physically, to find some of the best solutions and amazing products to head off some of this hair loss and hair thinning. We know, they say that half of American women will experience some thinning, as well as men, by the time we're 50. But if there's a way to push that time back, why not? And so in the salon, that's what we're doing. We are serving great supplements to our clients, great hair and scalp care, product knowledge to our clients, helping them to kind of push off, that inevitability. But at the same time, we want to keep them looking amazing.
Right.
We want to keep them looking amazing. So when we have some major solutions, major problems, direct hair loss, where hair is missing, then we come up with some amazing. This young lady right here, let me tell you something about her. The first slide was a young woman who was away at school. She actually naturally had hair be below her breast, and letting the little hairdressers at college do her hair, the little inverted haters, helped to break her hair off. And when she came to me, we literally consulted for 2 hours. That was longer than I normally would do a consult. But this was a thing between this mother and daughter, where the mother wanted this hair cut short and the daughter wanted to hold on to her couple of little ends that were still there. And at some point we were able to convince her to cut this hair off. And I did say to the mother, I'm not going to do her hair tonight. And the mother's like, oh my God, why? We've been here 2 hours. And I said to her, because I could give her the best work I knew how to do, and she still would hate it because it wasn't her decision. The very next morning, I think about 7:30, this young woman came and said, I'm ready. We literally cut her hair off probably, keep again in mind, this hair was below her breast. We cut this hair off to maybe 1/4 inch away from the scalp.
Wow.
This is her growth 2 years later.
Wow.
It's not a whole lot, but it is
beautiful.
It's amazing, because what we wanted to do was not just create length, but we wanted her thickness as well. And we know that women who are dealing with anemia and some other health issues, it fights against, your ability to grow healthy and thick and strong hair. So we have been covering this hair up in different ways, weaves, weave caps, and this was the year going into this Christmas we really wanted to expose her hair. Her mother was shocked, because now we're looking at healthy, hair that's grown back, and we're molding it back to that place where it can, again be, below her breasts. Okay. So we put work into getting this hair that's healthy. This lady here actually has long hair. What she needed was thickness. So we had her come into the salon. We consulted with her. She paid a little consult fee. We shared with her our hair extension product. This particular brand of hair is Indian Remy. She selected that. It comes one color as it comes directly off of a donor. And we colored it. And it was crazy because I took pictures of her hair, which is one of the processes that I do during my consult, and didn't realize that my flash was on. So the picture actually picked up a paler color. But in my eye, I knew that, where I needed this color to be. And this woman walked in. She had never come to me before. Found me on Facebook. And she said, I knew you were the bomb.com when I looked over and saw that hair sitting there. Okay. No one can get this hair straight out of a bottle or with bleach, the same exact color. And I had prayed on this thing.
Wow.
This lady here is one of our clients that's half German and half Dominican. We did highlights on her. We did a two-tone highlight and a low light. She comes to me. She gets her hair cut, blow dry. We do the blowout. We put thickening treatments on her hair as she wants it to be thicker, and that's that picture there. This woman here happens to be my little sister. She comes in town. She's going to, like a reunion at her school. And someone had cut her hair in PA due to some other hair issues she was having. And they cut her hair in what she called was a mullif. And I didn't even know people did that style anymore. But okay, 35 minutes later, this is what you see. We were able to attach really quickly.
35 minutes?
35 minutes. And she was to be in my chair at 2. I had 4 clients. She came at probably about 7 and needed to be at this reunion by 8:30. I just went into my little bag of tricks and we got her hooked up and sent her out. I think we put her on Facebook, probably got like 90 to 100 hits, people who hadn't seen her since she was a little girl. This model here is another one of my sisters. She actually is wearing our Brazilian loose wave. Again, what you're able to see is that you really cannot distinguish what is weave and what is her own hair.
That is true.
And that is what we specialize in. Definitely blending textures, blending our hair product and any product that anyone brings in, because not everybody is, in a position to buy this particular hair, but our specialty is to blend the hair so that it doesn't look like a weave cap, that it looks very natural. This hair goes from this curl to straight in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
This particular slide, I think we were going backwards a little bit. We were talking about the properties of hair, and I really wanted to hear, because we were recapping and finishing up with our hair thinning, hair loss segment. We were talking about the properties and the structure of the hair, and having our clients to understand that hair growth begins under the surface. So while we're going into beauty supply stores and there's millions of products that say, we'll repair your split ends. You can never repair a split end. You can never repair it. There's not a product on this market that's going to repair a split end.
Should we tweet that?
Let's tweet it.
You can never
repair a split end. It has to be removed. Generally, with my clients, I do encourage them to always, after any chemical service, have their hair trimmed. This is actually a piece of hair, a hair shaft that's splintered and cracked, dry, and brittle. And again, we can't really see this. This is what is being shown under a magnifying glass.
Right.
But if we could see our hair, if we were able to put everybody's hair under a scanner or magnifying glass, I'm sure I would better be able to have people understand what I'm trying to eliminate for their life. So, hair chemicals, bleaching, all of these things can be done. We can wear it. It just has to be done properly.
But you also mentioned that there were some men in the barbershop that were kind of shocked at some of the hair growing back.
We are taking an amazing product that we are about to put on the market. For our female clients, it's called Pink Martini.
Okay.
For our men, it is Black Cognac. It is 100% moisture in a bottle. It is equivalent to a rose that we forgot to put water in, and you see it leaning over and starting to curl up and dry, and then you go put the water and it pops back out, and you're like, wow. This particular product does the same exact thing for our hair. Water is not our best friend, but moisture is our best friend. There creates elasticity, which cuts down on the snapping, the popping, and the breaking.
Okay.
So this amazing product is all natural. The molecules in this product has been designed small enough to seep into the scalp pores and to stimulate hair growth.
Okay.
At the same time, feeding the cells, that bloat, the blood, and again, we didn't get to show those slides where there's so many layers to hair growth, and there's so many there's 3 phases to hair growth, but there's so many layers under our scalp that, in conjunction to one another, is what produces what we're looking at when we're looking at our hair. If one or the other is failing, then we have a problem. So we do know, again, healthy eating, drinking your water, contacting us at the salon so we can share with you these amazing supplements that we just found that is working for just not hair issues, but to continue hair growth.
For the body as well.
And for the body as well. Most of us are not eating our square meals a day. We're not drinking our proper water intake. These supplements are helping to boost that along. So for those people who are interested in what it is that we do, please contact us at saloncocktails.com. What is it? saloncocktails@yahoo.com. And we will get back in contact with you. We can set up consults with you. We can talk with you about your hair issues and problems. We can share with you some of the products that we love and that we live by. And most of the products, if not all of them, if I use them on you, I will use them on my mother. I will use them on my sisters. And most of the models we saw were my sisters. Not all of them, but most of them are my sisters. So again.
Yeah. You also had, in a segment before, you were talking about some type of hair capsules that cause the hair to become thick. And you actually gave me a bottle to try.
I gave you a bottle. Let me tell you something. Everyone is coming into the salon getting this bottle.
Yes,
because again,
it works.
The one thing these women know about me is that I don't sell BS. I only sell things that work. I only sell things that are working for me and the people around me. So this HNS or HSN, however you want to say it, can be purchased from Salon Cocktails. It's amazing. It's working. It's a 3-time boost to our hair growth and hair thickness. It has the highest content of biotin.
Yes, it does.
The MSN, the cell regenerative repair products that it has in it. It's all natural. Japanese root. All of the A's and the B's and the C's that our bodies ultimately need to continue to produce other healthy organs. Hair is one of the fastest growing organs we have on our body. So it doesn't just deal with our hair, it deals with our nails, it deals with our skin.
Yes, it does.
You know what I mean? So if you can get that everything in one bottle 2 times a day with some water, come on and get some because it's working.
Okay, and so the salon is located where?
We are located at 13801 Brandywine Road in Brandywine, Maryland. We are in the process of building a website, which will give you a closer view of exactly what we're doing. We'll have tutorials, all the products that we hold there, how to contact us, how to come and get services from us. And
but they can also tweet and connect with you on Facebook.
They can on Facebook. Hair Candy Bombshells, all capital. Hair Candy Bombshells. On Facebook, Hair Candy Bombshells. On Twitter, I think we are Hair Candy Capital. Hair Candy _ Bombshells.
Okay, but I think you're also Salon Cocktails.
Girl, we have so many ways to connect. Listen, go to the website. 411 Mentor Me and get all of my information. Because I'm going to tell you something right now.
MentorMe411.com. Click on her bio.
We got so many comms and things going on. Get in contact with us. We're doing some amazing things.
And we're going to see you next week. William will be back with us with social health. And so until then, we need you to be safe, be smart, and be healthy.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can. And I wear my hair like this because I can. And I walk around like this because I can. And I do my thing like this because it's who I am. And if you expect me to give you an apology for being nothing that you're used to, go right ahead and wait. Hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turns blue. My road ain't your road, but just I know just where I'm going. My flow ain't your flow, but just I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. Please feel free to hate and complain. Said I'ma do my thing. Say what you want, but this one ain't gonna change. I'ma do my thing. I can't wear my clothes like you because I'm not. I can't do my hair like you because I'm not. I can't walk around like you because I'm not. I can't do my thing like you, well it just ain't hot. And if you expected me to give you an apology for being nothing like you used to, well, go right on and head away. Hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turns blue. See my road, it ain't your road, but trust I know just where I'm going. And my flow, it ain't your flow, but trust I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. So please feel free to hate and complain, 'cause I'ma do my thing. And say what you like, 'cause this one ain't gonna change. I'ma do my thing. You don't know where I'm going, and so you think I'm lost. I ain't on your page, okay, so to you that means I'm off. When I dance to the beat of a drummer you don't hear and you can't see. So if I look off beat to you, well the problem must be you, not me. Irregular, but never error.